I think in the history of comics, Harley was originally created to be Joker's girlfriend. And she became such an interesting character in her own right that then, there were spin-offs. And it's funny because we're sort of doing the same thing in the cinematic universe as well. And she's just become such a iconic character, I think, because she is so fascinating and complex. And I think at the heart of who she is, there's this conflict of Dr. Quinzel and Harley Quinn that is epitomized by the blue and the pink in her hair. Like, she can't even choose, right? She's constantly, is she good, is she bad? That's why she's such a good anti-hero. We got a lot of inspiration from the New 52 series because that's her out on her own. She's no longer with the Joker. Aesthetically, it was a little bit more in our world. With Black Canary, we kind of drew upon we gave her the classic blue and gold like palettes of like early Black Canary, but then also the sort of punk rock aesthetic of the later Canaries. And so I think it was really fun to be able to like create an original world and then draw inspiration from what felt right, because these characters have existed for a long time and then they have also evolved over the years too. I think they feel real and raw, and they're not perfect. They drop F-bombs, they make terrible decisions or bad choices. They are really raw in the movie, and that's what I loved about it, and that's what I really wanted to make sure came across in the film, that none of these women are perfect. They're not aspirational in that sense, and that you can have superheroes or comic book characters that feel more relatable. So, whether it's Renee, who is a little too tough and sometimes just, she gets in her own way, or Huntress, who has to learn some social codes that maybe she did not get to learn given what what her life was like, or Harley, who is just in some ways your most annoying friend in the world, but also your most badass friend. Everyone I think has their flaws, and that I think is what we all want to see on screen these days. Roman is a bit of a black sheep there, and I think he wants to control everything because he can't control his own emotions, and he is someone that is a bit unhinged, which makes him a really interesting foil for Harley because she steals his thunder a lot. She steals his limelight. She's the kooky one. She's the funny one. And he loves being the center of attention, and so does she. And so I think they become very interesting foils to one another. And just the way that I think Harley makes a few good decisions in the movie that gives her more of a heroic arc, if you will. He makes the bad decisions that makes him the villain of the movie. This movie owes so much to Margot. I mean, it really was her idea. She pitched it. She pitched the idea of a girl gang movie with Harley Quinn. And that was because she, I think, understood the character, and that Harley is not someone that wants to ever be alone, whether she is with her stuffed beaver or whether she's with her hyena. Like, she's got to be, or whether she was with the Joker. Like, she is someone that needs other people. And she is not the kind of woman that doesn't want to hang out with other women. She desperately, wants to. And so I think that stemmed from her understanding of who Harley is. And then she developed the script with Christina. I think she recruited Christina in the process. So this has been a very personal journey for her, I think. It's been many, many years in the making. So I feel very honored to be a part of that. And then she was very actively involved as both a star, but also as a producer. And it's pretty amazing how she can just like move, put one hat on and take the other off. I love Roman. I think he's hilarious. I think that Ewan was able to bring such charm and such comedy, but also vulnerability to the role. And I love developing Roman with Christina and with Margot. Mary was really able to bring like a level of depth but also humor to the role, where she is, you see her starting to open up to the world towards the end of the movie, and also you see how much of an outsider she is because of everything she's gone through. So it was really fun to develop that character that way. I thought she was awesome. I mean, she brings such groundedness and grit, and Rosie Perez has, she's just iconic, and I mean, it's impossible to not be a strong character, right? I think she's just innately so strong, and she has that like do not with me attitude, and she just keeps going no matter what, and that tenacity that I think Rosie has is exactly what Renee needs. Ella's great. I mean, it's so impressive to me. This is her big, feature debut, and I can't even imagine the pressure, just like how crazy it must be for her, to show up to set and you have a scene with Margot Robbie, and I think she's been such a champ about the whole thing. She's incredibly mature and precocious for her age, and Ella really understands the character. She really gets it, and I think she brings a certain like authenticity to it. She just feels like a kid, like a real kid, and not like a shiny, perfect version of a girl. Erin Banak, our amazing costume designer, I think she just knows what women want to wear today. She always looks effortlessly cool herself. And so that was really fun, getting to create the costumes and pay homage to the comics, but also make it feel relevant for what women want to see. And the street style, like we drew a lot of inspiration both from the comics, but also what women are wearing now, street style, and hopefully that kind of creates a unique, vision of the world as well.